Welcome back, friends. I am Kandron,
And I am Dehjai, and we are.
Black and Curious. So, um, we're here. So make sure that, if you're interested in what we talk about, we're doing deep dives on all things exploration and curiosity and Black. So if you're interested in that subject matter, give us a subscribe. Now, on to our topic for the day. Luxury. Luxury is our topic for the day. And obviously, there's been much conversation about Black women in luxury, but I wanted to take little bit of a different spin on it. So, yeah,
Let's get
let's
into
get,
it.
let's get into it. All right. So, I have been doing a lot more following people on Instagram and YouTubing and like actually being more invested only because of the parallelogram. And normally like my normal life is fine and like I enjoy my own life. um which is not to say that you can only like influencers if you don't enjoy your own life, but you know what I mean. The point is that it's aspirational, right? Influencer
Sure.
stuff is aspirational. So especially the luxury girls. So anyways, one of the influencers I follow moved to Miami, which is where I am. And so I saw her having all of these like cool experiences, and she was dropping all these some restaurants that I'd never heard of. Some of the stuff I had already been to, but some of the things I've never heard of. So I went to the restaurant that she mentioned. It was Makoto in Bow Harbor Shops. Now, if you aren't familiar with South Florida in particular, Bow Harbor is like the luxury mecca. It
Mm.
is where all of the wealth is, okay? It is where the wealth resides. There's the Saks, the Neiman's, but also like the luxury boutique stores also.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm there with my friend, one of my friends. We sometimes take off work and go have nice lunches together. And like that's our whole day. We just make a day out of it.
Sounds like a
But
great
this,
time.
right, but this particular time, I was like, oh, I can make it back to work in time, whatever. Big mistake. So, anyways, in the middle of while I'm sitting, in this place literally surrounded by luxury, it occurred to me that I didn't really care about any of it. Um, yeah. So, and I was wearing pants from Target that were very cute. I was wearing I was wearing Fendi shoes, but they came off of
Look at
Poshmark.
this chuckle. I was wearing Fendi shoes, but
I mean, they were Fendi shoes, but they were from Poshmark. I bought them on Poshmark for I think about $100. And right.
I need to get on the
Little
Poshmark.
side note, my first solo video is going to be how to shop Poshmark. So little teaser there.
Thank you. I need.
Um, or it might be up by now. I don't know. We'll see. Depending on how we record these. So, anyways, I'm wearing clothes that have been like reused, and then the only thing that's new came from like Target and an H&M tank top. I had a nice bag, but that came off the real. So it was like,
But
and it
still
wasn't even
nice.
like high designer, whatever. So, anyways, I'm having this epiphany of like, I don't really care about any of this stuff. What I want is to sit here and have another cocktail with my friend and have the leisure, the luxury of leisure, really, and being able to just go to lunch in the middle of the day and have two cocktails instead of having to hurry up and get back and only having the one,
Mm-hmm.
or that type of stuff. Like that's the luxury that I'm more interested in than I am, you know, things. And that was an epiphany for me because even as a kid, I always thought I would be a things girl. Like my mom is a things girl. Like she likes to have things. And I always thought that I would be a like things person. And I'm not, as it turns out. Like I like having nice stuff, but I'm not going to go overboard and I don't need it. I'd rather
Sure.
have time and experiences. So that was like my moment of like, huh. It was like a whole moment of reckoning around
That's
what it
funny to
means.
me though, only because like to know you when we were like younger, you would have like Louis Vuitton and what was something else that I saw? You had like Louis Vuitton and some other things. I remember we were at VCU at the time. And I was like, oh, girl, this is nice. And you're like, yeah, my mom gave it to me. So like that mentality has always been present for you. As far as I am concerned, as the outsider looking in, you never really seemed fazed by any of the shit in terms of like things.
Yeah, maybe. But I've always been like into fashion and stuff. So I thought that the first thing I would do when I had money would be buy fancy things.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. Because I remember Kandron is the friend that put me on to like the Jimmy Choo shoe collection. And I became obsessed in watching like the new things to come out from them. So, but yeah.
And it's not that like I said, it's not that I don't like nice things. It's just that I don't think that's the best use of my money. But also like, because I don't have, an unlimited amount of resources, but also I just don't care. Like some stuff I just don't care about. I don't care about some of the trends and some of the things that, are on everybody's wish list. I just don't care. I like what I like. And really more what I care about is I want the luxury of having leisure and having nothing to do, or having big swaths of time with nothing to do, or fill them how I want to fill them. That to me is true luxury. And like I said, that was an epiphany that happened while I was very literally surrounded by designer things.
I would agree with you. I'm someone who also desires to be able to just plan out my days how I see fit and work on the projects that I want to work on, and not be forced to like attend to anybody else's time, even though like attending to someone else's time at this point in my life is paying my bills. I don't necessarily like, ideally, this is not the life that I want to live.
Right.
So I feel you. I guess my relationship to luxury would be that I have like some mildly nice stuff, like few things, but not like a whole lot. I've not really had a whole lot of experience in that, except for like here and there, I will like treat myself. I more so spend like the money on like electronics or dare I even say like experiences.
Yes.
I think I want something that's gonna, for me, I want something that's gonna be everlasting. And that's not to say that like Kendra knows I've been on the hunt for like a Gucci bag for a while. And so like I haven't found it yet because I'm particular. It has to be like my absolute love thing. I don't own anything from Gucci. So like it's when I get it, it's gonna be a big deal. Maybe I'll do an unboxing or something in the future. But for me, it's always been like things that I can have for a really long time and experiences that I remember forever, that I would spend the coin on in terms of like the financial aspect of it. But like very much in the same boat of like, I want to get to a place where I'm able to plan out my days and live life how I see fit. Like I want a stature of wealth that allows me to do that.
Yeah. And this sort of overlaps with the whole, there's like a whole other, movement now or whatever of I don't dream of labor, of like, have you heard about this?
That? No.
It's basically people saying like, what's your dream job? Well, I don't dream of labor. I don't have a dream job. Like my dream is to do as little as possible and make as much as I can doing as little as possible. Like that is my dream.
That is, I guess that's like, so I have this thing where I talk to clients and friends, anybody who listen actually, about my desire to, I don't believe in hard work. And what I mean by that is like anything that's hard going, it just isn't worth it to me. It's not an alignment for me. And I don't believe that it's aligned for anybody. If you're doing things that are like hard and taxing to your spirit and you're begrudgingly getting through it, I just don't believe that that is where you should be, even though I understand that there are things that we all have to do in life that are not easy. Oh, this thing is snatching my hair. Hold on. Okay. Um, I think that like in the sense of the I don't dream of labor, like that's same boat for me.
Yeah, it's funny because I was I was interviewing for jobs earlier in the year, and I was like, I really hope these people don't ask me what's my dream job because I don't have one. And this was before like all of the whole, I don't dream of labor or whatever. It was sort of like just me deciding on my own, like, I don't have a dream job. It's like, I don't want to work. That is my dream job.
That is my dream.
And it's like, I mean, I had a canned answer ready of like, oh, my career has taken so many twists and turns and blah, blah, the whatever, the canned answer. And like, this is my dream job right now. I'm sure this will evolve. Well, I had my canned answer ready, but I was just like, girl, I don't have one of those. Like, what you talking about? Please don't ask me that. Please don't ask me if I have a dream job. I don't.
I mean, but like, what would be the harm in literally being like, I don't have one?
I mean, I think it depends. In the world that I mean, it depends, because in the world that I work in, people want you to have a career trajectory. They want you to have a career path, and they want you to have vision about your career.
But like your career path is to retire early and be done with this working shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. But when you're paying people a certain amount of money, you don't want to hear, I don't have a dream job and I don't give a crap about this either way. That's not what you want to hear when you're giving people a certain amount of money. Okay. You want the girls to be like, girl, I want to be here. So
like, don't ask me no questions you don't want the truth to. Okay.
I mean, and thank God nobody ever asked me that. That was really good, because I had my answer, but I was gonna have to sell the hell out of it because I did not believe it in my heart. I did not. Like, I absolutely did not.
You're like, no. Yeah.
Girl, what is that? Dream job? That's an oxymoron.
I cannot with you. Oh my God. You know what we forgot today? So my bad, y'all. So the cocktails, we have little different things.
Oh, yes.
In front of my shirt where you can see it. So this is my ghetto remake. So basically what I mean by that is I didn't like how it tasted initially. So I went into the kitchen and threw it in a blender with some vodka and came out with a drink. So this is mango lassi, which is an Indian drink. Yes. And it tastes really good by itself, but it was too sweet. So I did a little bit or a whole cup of the mango lassi, the vodka, like I mentioned, and I had a like half cup of frozen fruit, like peaches, strawberries, and pineapples. So I threw that in the blender, and here's my drink. What you got, Cam?
Sounds delicious. Girl, I'm really being, yikes. I need to run a dishwasher, so I'm just drinking. I'm drinking rosé, black girl rosé out of a cup because I need to run a dishwasher.
I actually have not tried that. I need to go. Maybe I'll make that what I pick up today.
It's good. I just get it from Target. They have it at Target, and they have the red blend at Target, the rosé, and I just saw the sparkling at Target, the sparkling brut, which I really like.
I did not know that. Okay, so I will be running to the Target.
Yeah, and make sure you get it in your app too, because sometimes it's a couple dollars off through the app.
Oh, girl, we gonna pick it up. I'm not really going into the store. You know, I'm not. I love the luxury of being able to order my pets.
Oh my God! Let me tell you, the luxury of spending that extra money to have my groceries delivered. Girl. Now I will go to the trader because the trader does not allow a drive up / whatever. And I kind of like the trader. The trader feels like a gourmet market where I'm just like scrolling around trying to find new things to try. So like I like Trader Joe's, but
my girls in Trader Joe's. What up, y'all? Shout out to them.
But girl, the rest of them groceries, I will be right on Amazon.
Hello, listen. The daggone Prime for the Whole Foods of expenses, okay? Because I do have speaking of things that we have coming up, I have a Whole Foods blog coming because why not? I'm always in goddamn Whole Foods.
Or it'll probably already be up by the time this comes live, but go back.
Oh, yes. True. But yes, the Prime for Whole Foods, and then we have Fresh up here, and then you also have the regular Amazon grocery. Like, girl, praise God, amen. And then on top of all of those things, the girl has Instacart, so now I can get my wine delivered from the wine store. I can get Publix. What else are we getting? Oh, the good sis Wegmans. Yes, I love a Wegmans because Wegmans is like if Publix and Whole Foods had a baby. Right. So I can get like all of the things in one location, but the Wegmans is in Timbuktu.
That's even better. But yeah, I mean, definitely that is, see, that like stuff like that is luxury to me. And like
it's so simple, but it's luxurious as hell. My whole family is very much like, I don't see how you do it. My grandmother was on me about having my credit cards online to buy shit, child. Grandma was like, oh my God, you know they be stealing people's credit cards. Oh, she don't sound Southern at all. My grandmother's from New Jersey, but she was just like, you got to take that off of there. They're gonna be swiping your card. I was just like, what?
No, and they'll send me a new one.
Okay, it's all right. And I was like, look, most companies will create you a dummy number. So it's not the actual card number. They just have your dummy number. And I mean, they might be able to rack a few things, but then I'll just call and be like, that's not me. What'd you say?
I said, it's like encrypted and stuff. There's like one braid over here. That's just.
Don't you hate that?
It wants to
trying to do its own thing.
But yeah. So. But yeah, so that was my origins of the luxury conversation. But let's talk actual luxury because,
that's your lane.
I know that the girls have, there's been a lot of talk about like Black women deserve luxury and all of that stuff. And obviously I believe that to be true. I just think that luxury can be whatever it is that may be a premium for you, but it's worth it.
Yeah, so I feel like
maybe broaden the definition of what that means to everybody, like that it's not just a privilege. It doesn't have to be like a privilege thing or you can afford to buy X or whatever. Like it could just be whatever is that extra mile for you, a few extra minutes to do whatever, a nice coffee once a week or a cocktail once a week or whatever it is. It doesn't even have to be spending money. It could be being able to sleep in or being able to whatever it is in your life that would just add something to your life. I think that is the spirit of luxury and that is what it is that I'm after.
Yeah, I'm with you. But hell, like you said, I think you did say earlier, like having the luxury to just be able to sit my ass down.
Yeah.
Like
that's that girl.
Yes. Okay. What are your thoughts around, because you are someone that is, and I'm going to use this loosely because can't always be getting on me, but I'm going to say it anyway. You are someone that is of a certain level of affluence that like friends and some family members are not necessarily there yet. And so the things that you can go and do, not everybody can do. What are your feelings around like people's opinions on said things that you do? I'll
be honest, I don't have no haters in my world. So I don't have anybody who is like, who even has an opinion about it. And if they do, they don't say nothing to me. And I think that's for the best.
That seemed real ominous, okay?
Hey, listen, one thing about me is I don't have no problems letting you know what my boundaries are and putting you in the place where you belong. So given that has been my spirit pretty much my whole life, the girls really don't try me. Like, I'm gonna just be honest. The people don't really try me. As far as my family and stuff, everybody's like happy to see, they're happy to see it. They're happy to see that, I set out for a certain type of lifestyle and went to school and worked really hard, and like they're happy that I have the things I'm happy about.
That's good.
Nobody gives me any smoke about it, and if they are gone. So
touché, understandable. I asked this question because like while I don't feel like I'm doing the most, And I don't necessarily feel like I'm far removed from my, well, I do, but I don't. I don't feel that I'm far removed from my family.
Right.
And from some of the relationships that I have in my life. But to them, I am like, light years away. And I'm just like, but I'm the same girl. I just am educated. I have a decent paying job. And I can, for the most part, do the things that I desire to do.
Right.
And like, there have been times where the sibling who I excommunicated had basically said that I was materialistic, which I am not.
No.
Like at all.
Not in
Like
my experience.
like I like nice things, but I like more. Well, equally, I like nice experiences. Like I like things a certain way. It doesn't make me to be like materialistic, or like this whole. I remember a couple of years ago. This is not my life now, right? These are past experiences of mine.
Yeah.
But a couple of years ago, like my mother and I were having like a really contentious like stream of events, conversations around me at the time wanting to leave a job that was making me miserable. I think that we talked about this in the first episode where I was just like, when it gets to a point that your soul is being sucked out of you or the life is being sucked out of you, it's time to move on. And so like I did move on from that said job because I'm speaking to the wrong person, clearly. Like my my mother just kept harping on me about like, you shouldn't, leave without having something else to go to and so on and so forth. And at the time I had over $10,000 plus in my savings account and she knew this. So my mom just wasn't, I don't know, she just wasn't with it. And it got to a place where several years later, I did exactly that. I was just like, you know what, I'm miserable. I don't like this. I can't be here. And so I quit, and I didn't necessarily have anything else to go to, but I struggled, because like when you leave, like you don't have that instant income. And I was without work, full-time work for about 6 months. And so I struggled a little bit for a little while. And my mom was like, do you still think that it was a good idea for you to leave your job and so on and so forth? And I was just kind of like, yeah, actually I do. While I'm struggling in this experience, this is not going to last forever. A.
Right.
B, I am not you.
Most important.
You know what I'm saying? And I didn't mean it in a way to be, dismissive or disrespectful of my mom, but it was like, when you were the age that I am now, you were married and you had 2 kids, one of which was 19 at the time, and I was a kid. So you have responsibilities that I don't have. Like, I don't have any of that. All the things I got to take care of is me. That's it.
Yeah.
So I recognize that people in our lives, right, will always have, often have negative things to say about the things that we are doing because of the place in which they are in. Their criticisms come from a lack of understanding for themselves. So therefore you can't do X, Y, and Z, which is always just very, 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 very annoying and frustrating when it's like parents.
Yeah. See, it was funny because I think, again, I don't have maybe the same sort of blowback, because I know like my mom wanted to leave home, but she couldn't because she had me. So I think she sees me as like maybe what she kind of wishes she would have been able to do. But even like, this is sort of an aside, but when I was at home, I love buying stuff pre-loved. That's like the buzzword now, but I like vintage. Pre-loved. I like old stuff. I just like it. I like it. Yeah. The quality is generally better. I'm not really super into trends, so it doesn't bother me to buy stuff that's a few seasons old or whatever. And so, or even be gifted things. So actually, I was gifted a bag by one of my friends. She just didn't want it anymore, and it's a really nice bag. And so
the bag that you had when you came,
yes, that one.
I was like, that's cute.
It's very cute. And then I also had these shoes that I had bought off of Poshmark, the sneakers that you saw. And so like every time somebody asks me about it, because I love this stuff, like it's not a humble sort of like, oh, it didn't cost me that much, or it was free. I didn't care. But my grandma was like very annoyed that I kept doing that, to the point where she was like, do not tell anyone else. You say thank you and you move on. Like, she was very annoyed that I was telling people that I got this bag for free.
Oh no.
It wasn't like annoyed. It was just like, you don't have to say that. Like, it was almost like her telling me, you don't have to like try to discount the things that you have.
Oh yeah.
You can just live in it. I mean, I did it because I thought I'm not funny, but I just like to share where I get things. And I really do love, like, I really love reselling and vintage and hunting for things. Like, I love the hunt. So it didn't bother me to tell anybody that I had like gotten a really good deal on it, but she just was like, you need to stop saying that.
True. I mean,
but also I
do
come
it too,
from a
though.
very like, my family is very like flashy kind of, I mean, not flashy in a sense of like, if you see them every day, they're flashy. They're not flashy every day, but like, I think some of this comes from a spirit of like Black church. I kind of very much grew up in the Black church. My grandma is like the hat and the whole outfit to match. So like, the girls stunt, and
Come
my
on,
mom,
Lois.
yes. And my mom, she always like really always looked really nice and put together in a heel. Like she only just started wearing sneakers probably within the last like 5 years maybe. But when I grew up, the doll had even a wedge on her house shoe. Okay,
Shut up.
the doll wore wedges around the house.
That's so cute.
There would
His mom is so little, so I'm just picturing her in this in these little house shoes with the little wedges on them. That sounds like my grandmother. My grandmother's like that too.
Yeah. So like, I'm not the girls don't the girls want you to be lavish and having a good time and having a nice life and a nice experience. So I'm very lucky in that regard, even though, maybe they didn't have like high-end designer brands. They gave me the spirit of like, I deserve nice things.
Child, I got the spirit of I deserve nice things more than anybody in my family. And I don't get, most of the time I don't give a shit. But like when they start like coming at me, like, ugh, like that situation with my mom, I really had enough. And I was like, you know what? The fortunate piece about all this is that you are not me and you don't have to live this experience. You just get to maybe the misfortune of listening to me be upset about what's happening, but I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's all right.
And that's fun.
So, but yes, like, I think that if she were still living, my aunt would probably be the main person. Like, go out there and get it. Where you traveling to? Like, what you buy? You're like, what's going on? And excited for me in the way in which you're speaking about how your family shows up for all the experiences that you're having. The only time I ever got that was when I flew to Italy when I was 21. My aunt was like, yes, this is what I want. I want you to travel. I want you to see the world, like, and at the time, I had never really flown. I had only flown domestically. So like to all of a sudden hop on a flight and fly across the country, or not across the country, but across the Atlantic, like, it was a big deal because nobody, with the exception of my aunt, had really done that. And so for her, she was just excited that like I was having these experiences that she had had. So I miss my auntie.
I know, I'm like teary up. Like I when I was in Greece. No. When I was in Greece, I like actually FaceTime my grandparents and was like, look at the sea. It's so pretty. And my grandma was like, oh my God, Ken, I'm so proud of you. And like my granddad, he didn't say much, but he was just in awe. Like he was so like happy,
Yeah.
So yeah, like I'm blessed that my family is very, they don't really pick things apart that way.
My mom is a picker. My sister is the same. My dad is not like that. My dad is like, so like this year and last year I've been talking about moving. And in my, you know, like, I don't know where I'm going, you know, that's been my thing for like the last year. So I've narrowed a few cities down, just idealistically, but the rest of it is in God's hands, right? And so I told my dad, like, you know, I'm leaving because I'm trying to prepare my parents that I'm going.
Right.
And my dad is just kind of like, so where are you going? What you gonna do? Like, what, you know, what's next? You know, and he's very, so this is not necessarily this conversation. We can flesh this out later. My dad and I have never really been nearly as close as my mother and I. And so to have him be as support, we are not going to be emotional today. Gracious.
No, I'm like,
to have him be as supportive and as curious as he is about what is happening for me is so different.
Yeah. That's how my granddad was too, because my grandma, it wasn't like my grandma, she didn't stop. Like, nobody tried to stop me when I left home, but my grandma very much is like, everyone is here and she likes having the family so close, you know? And when my granddad was alive, like, she would be like, you're not ready to come home, like, you're not ready to come back. And my granddad would be in the background like, leave that girl alone. She's having a good time, leave her alone. Like screaming in the background. And even more recently, after, you know, he's passed and she and I have had more conversations, she's just like, Ken, I'm just so proud of you. You're out there living your life. You out there by yourself and seeing the world. And I'm just proud of you. So, like, you know, it's just, that feels good because it can be lonely sometimes. But, you know, it feels good to know that, you know, I have the support of my family. You can always go home. I know I can. I can't say everybody can, but I can certainly always go home. And I understand that that's a privilege and a luxury because I know everybody doesn't have that.
Yeah, true. I think that it's like ingrained in the women, in Black women of, you know, generations before us, to be fearful of us leaving home and to travel and see the world and, you know, do and have things, because like historically, if you have had those of the other persuasion want to know why you have. And
yeah, that's true.
And, you know, take from you or take you, you know, like hurt you in some sort of way or like, you know, things of that nature. And I feel like maybe that's why we get so like readily like pushed to stay close to home. Because like with my mom, she's perfectly fine if I'm like where I am now, or if I move maybe 3 hours from here. She's like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But when I said that I was looking at Dallas, Texas, she's like, that's a flight. I'm like, Mom, you fly all the time. Like what? And especially a few years ago, she's retired now, but like she was flying more than anybody. So I'm like, what is the big deal? And
it's just the whole like, I want to be able to get to you.
Yeah.
That's how moms are though.
So my dad is like, Texas is nice. You gonna have somewhere I can put my truck? I'm like, Dad, you're like 73. You're not finna drive that damn truck all the way from Virginia to Texas. Like, what? Sir. But he will try it because that's what my dad was, a long distance driver for the majority of my life. And so like he likes to be out there on the open road. He just don't want to drive at night. So I'm like, I don't know how you're gonna get here. That's like a 3-day drive. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, sir, you're gonna have to get on a plane.
He doesn't like planes.
I'm sure he doesn't, but he's gonna have to get up on one. So
exactly. So, anywho, what else is on the list of luxuriating experiences?
I mean,
have we talked through it?
I think we've talked through it for the most part. I mean, I really think this conversation probably ended up being more about like redefining luxury versus just having things. But if things are your thing, girl, buy all of them. That's Sing my takeaway. Hey, listen, girls. Hey, listen. I'm talking this shit now with no money. Okay. Well, not no, with a few dollars.
Y'all,
few dollars.
this is what I be saying.
With a few dollars, I'm saying this now. With a few dollars, if I get a few
and
more,
fallacies, don't believe her. Okay, she
get
just
a
told
few
y'all she was in
more-
Greece.
if I get a few more, I might be having the things too. Okay. Don't be coming back talking about, oh, you said you, girl. Well, the circumstances changed, okay? And I do love the doll Fendi, okay? So there's that.
I do like Fendi too. Fendi is a
saying.
good look. You know, ironically, even this is not, I don't consider this like a really high-end brand. MCM.
Yeah, I like MCM too.
Because it reminds me of old Gucci, like 90s Gucci.
Yeah.
That's probably why I like it.
But you know, a lot of the trendy stuff I truly do not like. But I don't know. For me, Fendi just always gets it right.
I can't complain.
So like I said, don't get cute if I show up in some, new.
Listen, you know me, I'm be like, what up, you girl?
Keep it cute, okay? Keep it cute.
Like so she mentioned earlier that she had these sneakers on. When I looked at her feet, Kandron does not wear sneakers, okay? Not for real.
Because I like with a person who wore wedges to bed. What you talking about? No surprise.
So when we were getting dressed to go to like a friend brunch when she was here a couple of weeks ago, she put on her shoes and I was like, and she's like, what? I was like, bitch, you got on sneakers.
No, those are the shoes I showed up in. I did not wear those shoes to brunch.
Oh, yes. Okay. I'm trying to remember. I just remember looking down at your feet like shocked.
Also, those shoes were not in the mix. They were in the mix because the weather was trash.
True.
So
the fact that you had the damn sneakers on your feet is the thing.
Well, it was because I liked them. And it was because, I liked the scales on them. And actually, I was influenced to buy those by somebody else. I saw them on somebody. Also going to do a whole video on all the things I've been influenced to buy during the parallelogram.
Girl, honey, I have like, I feel like I need stock in Amazon. Because all the things that I have, it's a lot. But anyhow, I just ordered something from Amazon this morning.
Oh yeah. Oof, yikes.
Yes.
So anyways, do you have anything else that you would like to add to this topic?
I think we have talked through it. We've kind of talked through like having the things, people talking about the things that you have, and kind of, navigating those waters. Perfect. People won't talk. People always want to have something to say, but you have to have the wherewithal to know that they're speaking from a place of what they feel they cannot have and do.
Yeah.
So.
Or you can just remove them from your life.
All right, y'all. Thanks for listening.
Like, comment, and subscribe, because we haven't said that before, but we're doing video. So like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us what your definition of luxury is. What was your last way that you luxuriated upon yourself? And find us everywhere. We're Black and Curious on Instagram, Black and Curious on Twitter. And I'm Kandron, KANDRON _on Twitter. On Instagram. And
y'all can see mine on the screen. Also, we're on, you didn't do Instagram, so it's Black and Curious on Instagram.
I started with Instagram, but yes.
Did you?
I did.
The vodka might be kicking in, y'all. All right.
All right.
Till next time.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.